All right, let's begin. Hello and good evening to everybody who's tuned in. Welcome to Women on Wealth webinar. It's the first of a series of webinars that we're going to host during the Wonder Woman Week, which is hosted by Strata. My name is Sonali Sive. I'm a legal associate here at Strata. And just to fill in everybody who's tuned in about what we do, we're India's premier platform for investing in grade A commercial real estate. Our investment process is conducted entirely online with a focus on data-driven investing. Strata's goal primarily is to bring about accessibility, transparency, and liquidity to real estate investments. So in honor of Women's Day this year, we've initiated our very own Women's Week campaign. And our official hashtag for this is Wonder Women Week. And this campaign, we've set up this campaign to celebrate successful women from every walk of life. Our endeavor with this campaign is to inspire women to follow their hearts, to become financially independent, and break stereotypes. And since its launch last year, we've been able to get a reach of about 2 million women, which is quite a staggering amount. We've been able to reach out to them, and we've created financial advice and financial advice repositories and awareness as well. And this year, our plan is to do exactly that. And let's kick off with what this particular webinar would be about. We're going to look into the journey of two women entrepreneurs who are wonderful and inspiring panelists, and their take on finances, investments, life as an entrepreneur, and so much more. And then we're going to open the floor up to some questions. So I strongly advise everyone who's tuned in to take this opportunity to ask as many questions as you can. Any questions on financial guidance, investment advice, anything under the sun that you might want our panelists guidance on, feel free to shoot out those questions. So I'm going to open the floor up now to our panelists. We'll start with Ms. Priyanka Bhatia. If you could please start off with an introduction about what you do and how your journey has been so far as a woman entrepreneur.
Sure. So I'm Priyanka Bhatia, and I run Women on Wealth. What we do is we help women take charge of their finances. So we run online financial training and coaching programs so that women can learn how they can manage their money and grow it effectively. We've now been operational for 12 years, and we have helped over 4,500 women. And these women, they've become debt-free. They've come out of living paycheck to paycheck. They today save at least 25% more than they ever saved. Many women have built their own investment portfolios. They've learned the step-by-step methodologies to pick their own investments. Some women have even generated 40 to 80% returns on their investments. Some have bought their own properties, started their own businesses without depending on their husband, father, broker. Some women today are recognized as the finance ministers of their house, and they're getting involved in major financial decision making in their families. So if you look at finance has been a male domain in our families. And our intention at Women on Wealth is to make it gender free. Because we at Women on Wealth believe that finance is a system and everyone can learn it. Finance is not a gender role. It is not something only for the men to do. Finance is a system, and every woman with basic IQ and basic math skills can learn it. So this is what I run, this is what I do, and personally, a bit about myself. So if you ever thought that you need to be from a finance background to manage your money, or you thought you need to be good with maths, numbers, calculations to manage your money, or you thought you need to be a man to manage your money, then note, I'm not a man, and I don't come from a finance background. I come from a journalism background. So I've studied journalism. I used to be a reporter with news agencies like the Press Trust of India, United News of India, and more, where I had a great salary, which I used to spend on branded shoes, clothes, bags, because that's what I knew to do. I always wanted to create wealth and I just didn't know how to do that. And I got a big shock when one of my male colleagues ended up buying a property. He was at the same position as mine, same salary as mine. And he ended up buying a property while I had not even managed to save that much money. So that's where my quest to wealth began. And I thought the first person to take guidance from is my dad. And like any well-meaning man, my dad mentioned about traditional investments. Traditional investments like PPF, Public Provident Fund, fixed deposits. I did those investments. And very soon I realized that the rates of return were really low. And I had big goals. I wanted to buy my own property in Delhi NCR, earn from my investments, ultimately build a corpus for my business. And I knew none of those goals were possible if I continue to manage my money the way I was managing and invested the way I was investing. I knew I had to take some different actions to get a different result. And one of the different actions that showed up for me was to check with this male colleague of mine who had ended up buying a property. And when I checked on him, he mentioned that he invests in the stock market. So straight I went ahead, opened a demat account, I got myself a broker. And I started buying and selling whatever my broker told me to do. Only to realize in 2008 that I lost 90% of what I had invested. And at that time, I was so sad and disgusted with what had happened that I thought wealth creation was not for me and that I should give up. And I literally gave up on wealth creation. I gave up on wealth creation until I could find my mentors. And I found 4 mentors: a woman stock investor, a property investor, a serial entrepreneur, and a business coach. And when these guys began to guide me and they gave me little exercises to do, financial clarity began to emerge in my life. Like I exactly knew how much money was coming into my life, how much money was going out, where that money was going, how much money I needed to reach my financial goals, where I needed to invest, and how much I needed to invest to reach my financial goals. My stock investor mentor taught me a step-by-step methodology to pick good quality stocks. Until then, I didn't even know that there was a proper step-by-step methodology to pick good quality investments. So I learned the methodology to pick good quality stocks, went back to the stock market with a lot of courage. And it was different this time because I started by making 70,000 rupees in 120 minutes. And I kept making money like that to a point that I could double my entire fund that I had invested in the stock market. I bought a property in Delhi NCR. And then I started building an overall investment portfolio. I learned the methodologies to pick good quality mutual funds, other investments, built a well-diversified investment portfolio without depending on anyone in my life. And a point came where I started earning from my investments, and my earnings from my investments were more than what my expenses were. And at that point, I knew I was free to take up meaningful projects in my life. So I quit my job, and 2011, we started Women on Wealth. And since then, there's no looking back. We've been covered by the BBC News, NDTV 24/7 News Channel, Zee Business News Channel, Hindustan Times newspaper, Femina Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, and a series of women's blogs and posts. Also, Sherry Blair, who's wife of Mr. Tony Blair, the ex-UK Prime Minister, she wrote about us in the Huffington Post herself. And she came from London specially to visit us in Delhi and offered us the India partnership to her Sherry Blair Foundation. And since then, we've been nominating women from India to the foundation in London. So this is pretty much about me and us at Women on Wealth. And thank you for bringing me here and inviting me to make a difference, allowing me to make a difference. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for taking us through your journey so beautifully. And I'm sure that many of us found that story to be super inspiring as well. Now, on to our next panelist, we have our very own Ms. Priyanka Rathore. Same question to you. Please tell us a little about yourself. What were your goals and what was your aspirations when you were thinking about starting your own company? What was your thought process behind starting something as unheard of as a fractional real estate ownership platform during your time, and what were some of the ideas that you had when you were starting Strata? Sorry, Priyanka, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Sonali, and good evening to the audience. To start with, I started my journey in a corporate background. I was working in an investment management company, a hedge fund company in Hyderabad. That's where my investment thing started. And worked there for around 5 years. Then stumbled upon working in a startup that was WeWork, and that was into real estate. So moved to Bangalore. And in a very short span of time, around 2 years working with WeWork, I think I got a really great exposure, understanding real estate end to end, negotiating, financial modeling. How do you look at a building? How commercial real estate was such a great opportunity that I never even thought of even investing or buying or anything on that point. And when me and my husband were looking for doing an investment, since we were having some savings and we thought of investing in something, we didn't want to invest in a house. But since we're having our own house, and we wanted to do something, and stocks and mutual funds was something that were definitely very lucrative, but not very stable. So something on the real estate front, maybe a land or something that we where we could get some passive income. That's where we stumbled upon commercial real estate as an opportunity. But then we saw this, a very big gap where the ticket size or the capital that is required to buy commercial real estate was not something that a newly rich or a middle class would all afford, right? Because your savings would be somewhere around 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, right? But if you're talking about buying a commercial real estate all by yourself, is where we saw the gap where 25 CR is not something, or 10 CR is not something that an individual would uh, take it by himself. And it's like basically putting all your eggs in one basket. You're just putting all your investments in one asset and not sure if that would do good. We didn't have the expertise, etc. And that's where we started thinking about bridging this gap by starting Strata, where we wanted to bring the expertise. We also wanted to bring the low ticket size for our clients, or for people to invest in a lower ticket size of 25 lakhs and owning a commercial real estate where they're basically making great deals, better than residential investments, or and more of a stable asset class, right? Because how your stocks, your mutual funds are very they're very volatile in nature. Your real estate in that manner is little stable in asset, and hence commercial real estate gives you a better yield. I mean, stable yield. I will not say better yield, but it gives you a stable yield where people are okay to put in their money and save. So that's where the whole idea of startup began, where we saw this gap in the industry, and that's where we thought of starting this whole alternative asset class for people to start investing apart from investing in fixed deposits, mutual funds, and stocks.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. That was also a wonderful journey that you took us on. So I did realize that both of you had similar 9 to 5 backgrounds. In a certain sense, both of you were holding traditional jobs. So, how is a 9 to 5 different from running your own company? And when was that pivotal moment where you realized, well, this isn't, perhaps there is something more that I can do. Perhaps I should be starting my own company. When did that pivot happen? I'll start off with Ms. Bhatia on this.
I've been clear about running a business since I was a child. So yeah, I've grown up dreaming about being an entrepreneur, dreaming about starting a business, running a business successfully. So yeah, this is my passion, my childhood dream I've been on. And even when I became a journalist by accident, by studying, I happened to study journalism, and I happened to get a job and continued in that job for 4.5 years. Um, yeah, while I was in that 9 to 5, actually I was in an 8 to 4. So my shift was 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And after 4 p.m. until 10 p.m., I was constantly trying out different business ideas. So Women on Wealth is the fourth business that I started. And this is the only one which has been as successful that it has been. So before that, I've tried 3 different things. And yeah, after 4 p.m., it was like my full-time job was my part-time job. And my side hustle was really my full-time job always. And yeah, on the side, Women on Wealth became full-time, and I quit my job. That's how it happened. Yeah. And
That's great.
I think I was already ready for it. Yeah.
I think this would inspire a lot of people to take their side hustles a little more seriously. Miss Rathore, your answer to this question. When
Honestly, I never thought I will start something of my own. Though I think I come from a business background. My families are into business. So I think that definitely gave me a plunge to start something of my own. And starting Strata was definitely uh, I mean, it was very challenging, and it was also very inspiring at the same point, right? Having your own company. I mean, I have taken every job of mine always at my fullest capacity, be it like my corporate job or even at Strata. Never differentiated that only an employee should do a 9 to 5 job. I always felt that at least till you don't have any commitments, I think you should be pushing yourself to do more. In every way, trainings becomes more efficient when you enter other side of life, when you have other responsibilities to manage. But yes, when it's your own company and the sense of seeing unlimited growth proportional to the efforts you have put in and feel extremely proud of, and also that the fact that when you grow a company, it means 70 people are working in the company and also growing with you and looking upon you. That's a big responsibility, and that gives me immense happiness when you achieve the same.
Thank you so much, Priyanka. So, one other question that perhaps would help our viewers who are probably thinking about starting their own businesses. What are some of the roadblocks that both of you have faced while setting up a business, right from conceptualizing to getting things off, uh, starting things off and getting it running? What are some of the obstacles that both of you have faced? We'll start off with Ms. Bhatia.
So for me, the first roadblock was acceptance of the entire concept called Women on Wealth. It was like in 2011, it was unheard of. Women creating wealth, women taking charge of their finances. How can that be? Women have never done that. They will never do it. Yeah. Today, definitely times have changed. 12 years later, we have far more working women, women earning more than they ever did before, women earning more than what their grandfathers earned. So times are different today, but back in 2011, every person I spoke with said, Women on Wealth ain't going to work because women are not going to take charge of their finances. What's the point? Like, so a belief in the concept, belief in something that women may have not done or people may have not done, but there is always a probability. There is a possibility of change, transformation is possible. So yeah, that was the first biggest roadblock. And the second one was money. I mean, 2011 and 2012, yes, 2 years, we didn't have even one student, one paid student coming in and saying, okay, I will take this on. I will take charge of finances. It was only from 2013 that we saw students coming in, women coming in saying, okay, yes, I want to be out of debt, or I want to invest on my own without depending on anyone, or, I don't want to focus just on traditional investments. So yeah, from 2013, we started moving, but it was only from 2017 that we really saw profits coming in, money coming in, like really us breaking even and going beyond. So journey from 2011 to 2016, 17 wasn't easy at all. Right? So yeah, acceptance of the idea, the concept, belief of people in it, women willing to try it out, move beyond their barriers, and yeah, making money in any business, I would say, takes time, takes a lot of effort, um, figuring out the right target audience, being able to communicate effectively with them. All of that required a lot of figuring it out, understanding the concerns of the target audience. So all the entrepreneurs listening will actually connect with that. Yeah, so business modeling, a lot came in the way, but yeah, I'm privileged. I'm feeling privileged that we could go beyond together as a team at Women on Wealth, and like reach where we are today.
Glad to hear. Ms. Rathore, same question.
I think I run 3 full-time jobs. I run startup, I run a house, as well as I have a kid, so I have a full-time responsibility there as well. So, juggling between your 3 full-time jobs is like the biggest roadblock that I have. But I think I am very fortunate enough that, I have a great team, a great husband, and my co-founder as well, who basically do understand, the limitations that I might have at work or at home or with the kid. So I think the great support that I do receive from all three, right? My team who takes care in my absence, or my husband who takes care of my kid when I'm at work. So I think juggling between these three full-time jobs, and trying to make sure you organize them, and try to strike that balance between your personal and your professional life, definitely gives you a great, I mean, it definitely is a role barrier, but having the support from the team and my husband and my company definitely gives you a great runway to run the company and to where we are today. I strongly feel that when you foresee a roadblock that you come towards your, to manage your work. Luckily, at Strata, I have a great team who takes care of things in my absence, and I have a great family who takes care of my family and my kid in my absence at home. So
That's great. And in fact, just to piggyback off what Priyanka had said, I'll start off with Priyanka on this question itself. What is your advice for women who are primary caregivers at home? Those who have domestic responsibilities, those who have children at home. What would your advice be to them on how to effectively maybe start a business and how to continue to manage a business as well?
I think time management is the key for you to basically manage your, being a primary caregiver. I think if you manage your time well, you can definitely have a proper work-life balance where if someone wants to, is at the point of starting something of your own, but there is that limitation that you think that taking that plunge, or taking that leap of faith in your career life is restricting you. If you manage your time well, it will basically help you start your business, be a caretaker to your family as well, right? Start delegating, outsourcing certain of your either personal tasks or your business tasks to your colleagues, to your peers. Maybe hire a maid or cook or a nanny, so that you're delegating, and a lot of time of yours is saved, which you can definitely energize, and you can try putting it in your personal life it's required, or in your professional life it is required. For if definitely effective time management just does not come, definitely you need a lot of discipline, lot of focus, and a lot of consistency when you talk about time management. I mean, it's not that I say tomorrow, okay, let's start managing your time. I think it I think builds over a period of time, where you start managing your time, start being punctual, start having a cutoff between, this is my work time and this is my personal lifetime. I think that whole time management is the key to basically to all the audience here who's planning to start something of their own, but there is that hesitant for them.
Time management certainly seems to be key. Same question to you, Ms. Bhatia. How would you advise women to manage their business along with being primary caregivers at home?
Yeah, I think Priyanka just said it. Delegation. My goodness. Yeah, so many of us may find delegation a difficult task, but yeah, if we can delegate, we can let go of things that somebody else can do for us, and it's not such an important task that I need to be doing, like, really, then yeah, we can focus on certain more important things. Example, spending quality time with our family. I think I would value that more over cleaning the house, right? I'm not saying cleanliness doesn't matter. I value it. I really, really value it. But yeah, can we really connect with what we truly deeply value and what will really fulfill us? And yes, maybe we can get flat on that we can't do everything. We are women. We're expected to do everything. At the same time, can we really receive it with grace that we can't do everything? It's not possible in the 24 hours that all of us have in common. Nobody has the 25th hour. So, yeah, delegate, accept our limitations. Can we, really prioritize what we truly value? And can we then decide? I mean, for me, I'm married. And yeah, a lot of my time goes at work. A lot of it. And I would want to acknowledge my husband here. A lot of his time also goes at work. So yeah, both of us are pretty busy people. I may be a little more busier, and I do receive complaints from him once in a while, here, there, that, hey, could you be a little more available? And then, yeah, sometimes I do make myself available. The other times I do kind of share with him about my schedule and my priorities. So I think communication also goes a long way. Like, my parents very easily understand where I'm going through. My mother really wants to spend a lot more time with me, and she does understand the limitations I have. And I'm also choosing. I think choosing is also an art. Like, we're all homemakers, mothers, at the same time, partners, daughters, everything, right? So yeah, a lot of balancing. I'm sometimes also guilty of not having spent that much time with my parents. I'm sure it happens with mothers. I'm not a mom yet. So going beyond that guilt, like learning to go beyond those feelings. So I think, yeah, it requires a lot of consciousness, us to become conscious of what we are feeling, what we are thinking, what our values are, where do we want to be, what our goals are. And, like I want to say, I've accepted myself the way I am. I've accepted I'm ambitious. I've accepted that, yeah, I really value spending time at Women on Wealth. At the same time, I value just walking in the park by myself. A lot of I really look forward to a lot of me time. Like I can really openly say this. I don't give even 10% of my day to my husband, but I do give a lot of time to my own self. And I've intentionally prioritized my own self. So yeah, I think that's, yeah, this is what I can recall from my personal life right now, and yeah, sharing here openly, candidly. Thank you so much.
I think to add on to what Priyanka has said, right, delegation also gives you a lot of time to spend with what you want to do. Like you want to spend the time with your family, your parents, or just have a me time. But yeah, you are delegating the things that are low priority by basically getting some time where you can maybe spending time with my kid, spending time with my parents, spending time with my partner. I think it definitely goes a long way. And I think there are a lot of women in the audience who are multitaskers, right? I think they can also give us certain tips which we can share on this platform on how do they manage it.
That is great. I'm glad that most of the women watching this would have gotten some really deep insight on what they really need to do when they're primary caregivers and really to prioritize themselves in certain instances. That's great. So, what are some tips that you can give to women so that they can begin their journey of becoming financially independent? What are some of the things that they can start to do right now? Little things that would help financial independence be a goal that they can achieve later on in life.
I think I'll just start with I think like you should always start with having small term goals and a long term goals, right? Like doing small investments, like maybe do a small FD, like as Priyanka mentioned, PPF. These are like certain small investments that you at least start your investment journey with to become financially independent, because you need to gain certain confidence, because you just can't go and plunge and put it into a stock market and you lose your principal value, and then that kinds of demotivate you. So I think you could look like smaller investments, maybe an SIP for that matter, just a recurring FD for that matter, maybe some small savings to start with. And over a period of time, I think you need to start seeking some financial advisors, since it's not your subject matter expertise. So if you, I think I would say for women to be financially independent, to start seeking financial advice from expertise. It could be your husband, it could be a friend, it could be a professional advisor who could explain you how things work, how do you make returns. And I think that definitely gives a great start to start becoming financially independent.
That's great. Some really helpful tips there, Ms. Bhatia.
Yeah, I would invite women to dream first, right? Because only when you can dream, only if you can, visualize what is it that you're looking for, can you really achieve it. So if yes, financial independence is something that pulls you, can you really dream of what that life could be like? Like, what will your morning be like? What will be your afternoon like, evening like? How will you becoming financially independent impact your life? How will it look for your spouse, your children, your family, your parents? I think number one is around dreaming, visualizing, really looking at what becomes possible for you, everyone else, and does that inspire you? Like for me, being free inspires the hell out of me, right? Like really being free. And I would say the second point is, can I choose to break barriers? Like I'm the first woman in my family to start working, take up a job, first woman in my family to run a business, and every woman in my family after me is working, doing something in her life. So are you willing to break out of the mold that may be around you, and it may be given by the conditioning you have, the past you've had, the ways of thinking around you? And I think financial independence does require each woman to break out. So yeah, are you willing to break those barriers? And people will always have something to say, right? And can you follow your heart? Again, coming back to, can you follow that vision that you have? And then keep following it. It will take time. Sometimes we think, okay, we break barriers and we will achieve our vision now. No, it is hard. It's going to be hard. Are you willing to pass all those tests that come your way to ultimately have that vision that you truly want in your life? So yeah, that pain will show up. Be ready.
Certainly.
You, Sonali.
Thank you so much. So, bit of a whimsical question now. We'll start off with Ms. Rathore. Who is your Wonder Woman?
My Wonder Woman. I think my Wonder Woman is my mom. I think all moms are like these unsung heroes who have been taking care of us since we were born, and I think they still take care of us. So I think for me it's my mom, because for what you want to be, for the kind of ambition you have, and them supporting your ambition, right? I think it's just not mom. I think it's both your parents who keep supporting you for your ambition, because they teach you to dream big, and then they support you to achieve your dreams. So I think yeah, I think it would be my parents, and especially my mom.
That's great. Ms. Bhatia, who is your Wonder Woman?
Yes, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, it's my mom. My father, I wouldn't want to forget him at all at this point. I think my wonder people are my parents. And I so agree with Priyanka. I think it is our progressive parents who really keep fueling our ambition. Right? I'm just borrowing a couple of words she was using because I think that just so fits me as well. They really fueled my ambition, and my brother, my sister-in-law, my spouse. Had these guys not been there, my co-founder, my team, I mean, the women in my team are like really wonder women. They work day, night. There is really no 9 to 5 at Women on Wealth. If you got to show up at 9 p.m. for something, I see these team members, and we have an all women's team, and they will show up, and you give them tasks and they will complete, and you wouldn't even need to give them tasks. Like I personally don't now need to even delegate. It's like they will pick it up. They would see the need, they will pick it up, they will complete, and I would like I would see things rolling. And each community member at Women on Wealth, each woman member who's taken charge, who's chosen to become financially educated. All of us women, of course, like Priyanka was saying, we have a choice. We can depend on our husband, father, broker. We can like depend on the bank relationship manager, anybody. But these 4,000 women in our community, they chose to become financially educated. They chose to independently take charge. And I think that really inspires me, because here are more women who chose to go beyond dependency of any kind and choose a more financially independent outlook. So it was not just about, I'm actually pushing for every woman's financial progress by saying that financial independence doesn't stop at just earning money. Can we really consider learning investing, learning finance, and moving ahead in that journey towards independence? Because financial freedom begins after you start earning money. Because how do you use that money to free yourself up for the rest of your life? Otherwise, you're going to depend on that job or business.
Absolutely.
That's my invitation to everybody, every woman watching.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Very insightful. So just to round off this session, we have a final question. Please do enlighten our audience on what is it that both Strata and Women on Wealth really do to help women? What are women-centric programs or incentives that both companies take up? We'll start with Ms. Rathore on this.
uh, you know, uh, in financial sectors, right? Usually, your fintech companies or your real estate companies. This is a very not a very gender equal space. But at Strata, we have a very healthy male-female ratio on our hiring. We have a lot of women in our core team as well, and who are working with us. And at Strata, our aim last year, where our women investor were around 10%. We thrive to get that percentage up, and I'm very proud to say that we did bump up this number from 10% to 40% this year, where a lot of women investors did come on our platform and did invest. Again, financial independence by investing something, where we took an initiative last year, where our ticket size is 25 lakhs, but for all women investors we had reduced our ticket size to 15 lakhs to at least give them the opportunity to come on our platform. And definitely that bump from 10% to 40% would not be possible with these women being financially independent, taking that leap and investing in startup. And also this year, we do have a referral program where women could refer and make some reference out of the investments or the friends or families that they bring on our platform.
That's great. Some really solid incentives for women to look forward to. This Bhatia.
Okay, so what we do is we train you. If you are a woman, we train you, we coach you in how you can manage your money better, in how you can invest your money without depending on anyone in your life. So right now, if you're dependent on your husband, father, broker, advisor to pick good quality investments, then you want to go beyond that dependence. You want to become an intelligent investor, an independent investor. So we help you learn how you can do that. So we're purely into financial education. We are not attached to any advisory firm or bank or anything. We are independent educators. We run these courses and we offer one-on-one sessions so that women can learn how they can manage their money, grow it effectively. So we run programs. Example, if you want to invest in mutual funds, we run courses which help you learn the step-by-step methodologies to pick good quality mutual funds. So you learn the methodology and then you know it for life, which means for the rest of your life, you are independent to pick your own mutual funds. So this is the kind of work we do. So if you're interested, you're willing to learn, put in a little time right now to build those financial skills for life, then sustained wealth is a gift I have for you.
That is something I'm sure that everybody is going to look forward to. Thank you so much for that lovely session and giving us so much insight into how life has been for two women entrepreneurs and what are some challenges and stumbling blocks and how perseverance has really paid rewards for both of you. Now we'll open the floor out for questions from our audience. We have one already. So this question is for Ms. Bhatia. What is a suggested portfolio allocation for a beginner investor?
Great question. Now, so there are many formulas, right? You're looking for suggestions. I call them formulas. People will tell you allocate 30% of your money, save at least 30% of your money, right? Put at least X percentage of money in equities. I don't think one size fits all. Your question is, I am a beginner. Now, as a beginner, if I say that, 60 to 75% of your money needs to be in equity. As a beginner, if you don't even know the step-by-step methodology to pick good quality equities, whether it's stocks or mutual funds, how can you expect yourself to put 60%, 70% of your money in equities? Not possible, right? So I would say, instead of looking for allocation at this stage, first, can you move yourself with your skill building? Example, could you first focus on learning, say, the step-by-step methodology to pick good quality stocks or mutual funds or anything else, right? Once you learn, you begin investing small amounts of money first. That's how you begin, right? Over time, as you keep investing in good quality stocks, mutual funds, you see great returns, right? Like with good quality mutual funds, you can expect 12 to 13% year on year. With stocks, anything over 15% possible. And if you're building a stocks portfolio, there might be a couple of stocks which really generate great returns. Right? If you're handpicking them, often that happens, right? This way you keep investing, you keep balancing. As your confidence grows, you allocate more and more to a point that one day, yes, you will have, a huge percentage of money in equities, because that's one of the investments that really generates huge rates of return. Yeah, so that's how you do it. Like today, my personal portfolio, I'm 38 years old. My personal portfolio, I have 65% of my money in equities. And I have invested in real estate. Yeah, I live in my own house. And, I have like a well-diversified investment portfolio. So you balance it out, you kind of keep growing. As your skill grows, your wealth grows. Your allocation becomes better and better. So that's how you need to move, like you really move organically.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll keep in mind that knowledge is truly key when it comes to portfolio allocation. This question is for Ms. Rathore. Is CRE a safe investment option for a beginner investor?
Yeah, see, CRE is as I know, real estate, right? And it's stable. Like if I give you in a very layman language, right? I mean, our fathers and forefathers has always thought of investing in real estate, like be it a house, be it a land, be it a plot. So I mean, since historically, if you see, real estate has always been a very stable asset class, and investing in commercial real estate is basically giving you a better yield as compared to your stocks, your mutual funds, because they are pretty fluctuating, and you always have that scare that, okay, I have invested in my a stock, I'm not sure if this, if the stock falls tomorrow, or if I become bankrupt. So definitely you need to be educated, as Priyanka mentioned, that when you're investing in stocks or if you're investing in mutual fund, you definitely need the education required. But historically, when we see, real estate has always been a stable class in the family or in Indian mentality. So that way, real estate is definitely stable, and CRE definitely gives you a better yield and better IRR. And it also helps you diversify your portfolio, right? Just not invest in one asset. You have options to invest in multiple assets. And in case one fails, at least the rest of the assets do well for you, which basically averages out your yields.
That's great. So diversified portfolio is the way to go. Another question to Ms. Bhatia. So in the current market scenario, do you think equity is a safe bet, a safe investment in comparison to, say, traditional investments?
Okay. So traditional investments, right? What are traditional investments? Saving bank account generates 2 to 4% rate of interest. Fixed deposits, given the time frame of the fixed deposit, the rate of interest is between 4 and 6% year on year. You look at any other policies, schemes, provident fund, the rate of return is between 6 and 7.6%. So the rates of return in traditional investments is between 2 and 7.6%, while inflation is at 8%. So these traditional investments, are these really safe investments? Are they really saving you from inflation? Or is this more just our psyche? Just because we've believed that we're not losing money, because we can't see that we're losing money. We can't see that we're losing the value of money. Because we can't see it, we think it's safe. It's not. If it's not beating inflation, you're losing the value of money. You're losing money. So are investments in equities safe? If you're investing randomly in equities, I'm not talking about that. I'm really talking about making intelligent choices. There is a proper step-by-step methodology to pick good quality stocks. Let me give you an example. Imagine there is a business. Stocks are businesses, right? Stocks are shares of a businesses listed in the stock market. So when we are studying stocks, what are we studying? We're studying businesses. What are we studying in businesses? We're studying the financial performance of businesses. Example, say there is a 40-year-old business which is well established. It has borrowings worth 1 crore rupees. It does not have enough cash to pay off the borrowings. Also, say the profit that the business is making is not enough to pay off the borrowings. Ask yourself, if you are invited to invest in this business, would you invest? A clear, straightforward answer is no. None of us, in the craziest of our minds, would ever invest in a business like that. What did we do? We used a method to judge if a business was worth investing our hard-earned money in. You reduce your risk significantly in equities by learning how to pick good quality investments and then balancing diversification and concentration there. So the more you balance diversification in your portfolio, you will always have real estate in your portfolio. You will always have equities. You will always have gold. How are you balancing? Which gold are you buying? Which real estate are you buying? Which equities are you buying? And then how much are you diversifying there? All of it will define how much risk you're taking. So a lot of risk gets reduced when you know what you're doing. If I'm saying that 65% of my money, my net worth is invested in equities, on one side you could say, well, that's a lot of risk. Another side, if you really look at the portfolio I've built, you would see what I've done. I know what I'm doing.
No.
And there are investments where I have a 200% return. There are investments where I have a 15% return. And that helps. That allocation really helps. So de-risk, reduce your risk by knowing what you're doing. Jump in, invest your money only when you know what you're doing. Otherwise, if you are investing without understanding, it's like throwing your money in the dustbin. None of us ever throw our money in the dustbin, literally, right?
True.
So,
Knowledge truly is key in this scenario.
yeah.
All right. We have one final question, which I think can be split between both panelists. We'd like to quickly and briefly hear your views on this. Ms. Bhatia, you could perhaps help us out with the first part of this question. What is your take on commercial real estate? And then maybe we can round off the second part of the question, where is CRE or commercial real estate really a good choice for a person who's starting squarely in real estate investments solely? Is it a good place to start? We'll start with Ms. Bhatia. Your brief thoughts on this.
Yeah. So guys, if you go back to what are those 3 top ways to create wealth? Look at any wealth creator. Look at any person you know who's created wealth. They've only created wealth through 3 ways. Stocks, properties, businesses. There is no 4th way to create wealth. Look at any financially successful person. These are 3 top ways. That's it. So if you want to create wealth, you got to focus on these 3. And yes, I think it's just fantastic that, okay, I could buy a certain share in a big property and generate yields that really help me reach my goals. So if you can see that it helps you reaching your financial goals, go for it. I think every investment we got to map with our goals. That's about it.
And Ms. Rathore, would you say that starting off with CRE when somebody is thinking about investing in real estate portfolios, is that a good way to go about, say, your first investment?
I mean, as I mentioned, right, it's a safe asset class, right? Because you do not lose in your investments because as Priyanka mentioned, education on equity is very important in case you want to investment in say equity or mutual fund. Definitely the returns are high. But education is required. But as a beginner with no knowledge, I think real estate is a no-brainer where you can invest. There is capital appreciation. There's a rental yield that you make around on a month-on-month basis, right? So there are 2 ways to look at it, where you're making your month-on-month yields as well as if you look for a long-term time around 3 to 5 years, you're also making a great capital appreciation around 16 to 15 to 18% year on year. So that also gives you a great high side. So if you're not educated on the equity front and you don't understand the stock market, I think real estate is a great way to start your investments.
That's great. This has been a really informative Q&A session. Just before we can conclude, I have a quick rapid fire question for both panelists, just so we can end off on a high note. Quickly, if Ms. Rathore can tell me, what is the one purchase you've made under 100 rupees, which has filled you with immense joy every time you make that purchase? It has to be under 100 rupees. Can be 100 also.
I think a plate of pani puri, just go eat, enjoy.
I think a lot of us would agree with that as well. Ms. Bhatia, your purchase under 100 that makes you.
Yeah, before Priyanka said it, I was already thinking that 30 rupees, a plate of golgappas, as I call it in Punjabi. So yeah, pani puri, absolutely. I think I'll go for it. If not that, then bhel puri.
Yeah.
So chart across the board for our panelists. That's great. Thank you so much for this extremely enlightening and informative session. We really feel like we've taken a peek into your lives and how it's not been easy, but it's definitely been worth it. Thank you all for joining us and tuning into this webinar. Just a reminder that this is a week-long campaign that we have, and we have another webinar on the 4th of March called Wonder Women of 2023. It's a panel of extremely diverse group of women entrepreneurs, and I'm sure that would be information-packed, just as this was. Thank you so much, Ms. Rathore, Ms. Bhatia, for joining us, and thank you all for tuning in. We hope to see you next time. And thank you so much for your participation. We hope you have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.